I don't understand why movie posters are always photographs now. Hi, I'm Annie, and I'm here with Mubi at Posteratati talking about some of my favorite posters. Okay, this is the great Polish poster artist Bogowski, and I feel like I first saw his work because he does theater posters too, and I actually spent some time in Poland, in Warsaw and in Krakow, and like went to the Polish poster shops, and he's a really big deal and amazing. And I really don't know from looking at this poster if he's ever seen broadcast news, which I guess is typical, but I actually love how sinister it is, because one of the things that I think is so amazing about the movie is that they're like talking about Gaddafi and they're talking about the Sandinistas, and they're like, there's even this whole like date rape segment on their news program that William Hurt is involved in. And it's actually like, and I think maybe this is a theme in my poster selections, like movies where the politics are like baked in without being like an overt part of the plot. I feel like Broadcast News is a very dark movie, and it's a very prescient movie, in addition to being like funny and sexy and all the great things everybody says about it. And I love that there's a blindfolded man screaming with a snake tongue, but I actually feel like that's all three characters to me. And accidentally or not, I think it's a really profound commentary on the movie.
It must be nice to always believe you know better, to always think you're the smartest person in the room.
No, it's awful.
This poster is by the great poster artist Hans Hillman. I think he's maybe my favorite poster artist of all time. To be or not to be, nobody has ever made a movie like that before or since. It came out in 1942. I imagine they were filming it like before Pearl Harbor, which is crazy. It's about Warsaw in 1939. There are so many Nazi jokes. It's like about everything that was happening. It's really funny, it's really irreverent, and it's really devastating. And I just can't think of anyone else now who would dare to make something like it about anything that's happening right now. It's really hard to talk about comedy, and I find it kind of embarrassing to talk about comedy. And right, it's like the least funny thing in the world to analyze comedy, and like kind of really lame and makes you seem like a really unfunny person. But I'm interested in the task, because it is such a like ineffable, crazy thing that he does. This is the movie The Mother and the Whore, which I saw for the first time this past spring or summer when it was at Lincoln Center. It's my new favorite movie. It kind of, like, I feel like I had this experience when I was 22 seeing Andrei Rublev at Film Forum, where like I felt like my atoms had been rearranged, and I was like, oh, you can do that. It's like this sense of possibility opened up. I just was like, yeah, it just changed me, even though that's a dramatic thing to say. Like, I really did kind of see everything differently and approach my work differently afterwards. And I feel like at 42, Mother and the Whore did that for me, where I just kind of was like, it was just incredibly clarifying, and seeing it after I'd made my own first movie. And it also relates to the project I'm working on in this right now, and was already working on last summer in a very special way. So it just kind of like happened to me at the right time, and I'm so happy I saw it on the big screen. I chose this poster because I just really love the movie and I'm obsessed with it. It's a great poster. It's purple and green. I actually do think purple and green is an underrated color combo. I think it's a totally awesome poster, but really I just wanted to talk about how much I love Mother and the Whore. This is one of my favorite movies. I feel like I could watch this movie every day for the rest of my life. One of the most like genuinely surprising filmmakers I've ever encountered. Like, when I watch any of his movies, I'm genuinely shocked at some moment in the movie, but the shock comes not from anything abrupt happening. It's like he's a master of like slow surprise and shock, and the thing that takes your breath away or scares you or surprises you, like creeps up on you in this completely glacial way that I think is incredible. And that happens to me, I think has happened to me watching all of his movies, but like especially this one. I think he's my favorite living filmmaker. And he did a bunch of things at Lincoln Center and Columbia University this past spring, and I like brought my students to some of his shorts, and there was this Q&A with him, and he's so funny and dry and like the least pretentious person of all time. And like someone was like, they were like, who are your influences? And there was like a 30-second pause, and he was like, I don't really watch movies. And they were like, well, who were your early influences? And he was like, I really liked the movie E.T. It's funny because when I was casting my movie Janet Planet, I rewatched it and I got really obsessed with this sister. Because everybody talks about Anna Torrent, who's like beautiful and adorable and like went on to have a big career. But this sister, rewatching it, I was like, she's incredible and she's very weird, and it's a very not cute, unsentimental performance. And I remember I like used her as a reference point with some of the people I was working on casting with. I was like, I wanted to be I would say like not Anna Torrent in Spirit of the Beehive, her like strange kind of sadistic child or sister. This is a country of origin poster. I think came out in Spain in 1973 when Spirit of the Beehive came out, which is really special and unusual. And I just think it's a really simple but eerie representation of the movie. Thank you to Mubi and Poster Ottati for having me. And thank you, Poster Ottati, for like basically being the entire decor of my apartment. And for, like housing so many incredible works of art. It's such an incredible place. And my movie Janet Planet comes out in theaters on June 21st, and the week preceding we're having a Stage on Screen festival at Lincoln Center, so come check it out.